Thanks for making the time to join today or to watch the recording afterwards. My name is Hannah, and I'm joined by my colleagues Ali, Morgan, and Karen here. We're all advisors at UGE, the Center for Undergraduate Global Engagement, and we're here today to introduce you to all of our summer 2026 study abroad opportunities. So we'll kick it off. So yeah, we offer a lot of different study abroad opportunities during the summer through both Columbia-led and Columbia-approved programs. So that basically means Columbia programs that we administer and oftentimes have Columbia faculty teaching on them, or Columbia-approved programs, which means other program providers, other universities can offer programs, and you would be applying to Columbia for permission to study abroad and then apply to those programs for admission. So there are a few different, kind of routes that you can take with summer study abroad. But either way, it can be a really excellent complement to your time at Columbia. We often have students study abroad in the summer who aren't able to do so during the academic year for many different reasons, or we sometimes have students go abroad during the academic year and then also want to go abroad in the summer and experience a different type of program in a different location. So in this session, we'll be going over all of the different program options. We'll be going over application, eligibility, financial considerations, all the kind of basic 101 info you need for summer study abroad. And it's important to note also that many applications are now open, not all of them. The earliest deadlines begin kind of late January and go through the end of February. So we'll talk a lot more about the application process and deadlines. And of course, keep an eye out for program-specific info sessions that will be held for Columbia-led programs. This is a general kind of summer 101 session to walk you through all of the different choices that you have. And then if you're interested in any of the specific Columbia-led programs, we'll have specific info sessions to walk you through a lot more detail about each program. Great. So moving on to the next slide. Great. So Columbia-led programs are offer an opportunity for you to take Columbia credits through Columbia courses, often with Columbia faculty or local experts during the summer. So there are a ton of different programs that we offer. We'll go ahead and first I'll do some kind of general information about the programs, and then I'll dive into the actual specific programs. Great. So we have 12 different programs offered this summer, all around the world, and they all offer the opportunity for you to take Columbia credits. Most of the courses are taught in English, fulfilling a variety of requirements, which we'll speak about in a lot more detail. And then we also have some programs that offer language courses too. You can study with Columbia faculty and local experts to earn credit towards your degree. And a lot of these programs offer opportunities to explore new topics or to dive more deeply into your area of study. You could satisfy a major or minor, core, or language requirement while you're abroad. There are a lot of different options for types of courses that you can take. And you can discover insights into other cultures, develop new perspectives, and continue to work towards all of your goals. Great. So as I mentioned, you can be exposed to new ideas or deepen your understanding in a specific area in a broad range of different topics across all of our different programs. You can study and work with Columbia faculty abroad. It can be a really great chance to explore your study abroad destination while also actually deepening your Columbia connections by being a part of a small group of other Columbia students with Columbia faculty members. And then, of course, a lot of the learning happens beyond the classroom as well. You can combine intensive study in the classroom with learning outside the classroom, which can look like guided field trips, meetings with local scholars and experts, hands-on research, project work. There are a lot of different really cool experiences you can have in these programs. And of course, as I mentioned, you can also expand your community, both, at Columbia and beyond, and engage with your study abroad location. You can gain global competencies, intercultural competencies. It's a really great experience for all of you to add to your time at Columbia. So that leads us to eligibility and application. Who can apply and how do you apply? So students must have a 3.0 cumulative GPA and a 3.0 during the semester before you go abroad. And of course, good academic and disciplinary standing. So those are eligibility requirements for all programs. And of course, you must have the approval of your home university. Whether you're a Columbia student going on a Columbia program or another student applying to a Columbia program or a Columbia student applying to a different program. You always need your approval from your home university in order to get credit for your semester, year, or summer abroad. And then some programs may have specific prerequisites for your application. So make sure to check the individual program websites to learn more about that. And application deadlines vary by program, but they all range from late January through late February. So they all take place in that time. And as I mentioned earlier, most applications are open or about to open. So just keep an eye out on the website. If you've put your email down for a Columbia program by registering your interest at the top of the page, you'll receive an email when we open the application. So keep an eye out for those. And then the application process itself includes a personal statement, application questionnaires, and a transcript. And some programs require some additional information as well, like a recommendation or even an interview in some cases. A good tip would be to ask your faculty members soon if they will be willing to write a recommendation for you. So that way they have as much time as possible to submit that recommendation before the application deadline. So at this point in the process, we'd say to look at your program options, start narrowing down what you're interested in, and then you can look at the requirements, see if a recommendation is required and reach out to faculty. Great. And then financial considerations. So we know cost is obviously a really important factor when you're deciding to study abroad during the summer. The cost of attendance is available on our program websites there's a financial considerations dropdown for every single Columbia program. And you'll be able to click into that financial considerations and see all of the costs. Those will be costs that are billed to you, but then also estimated costs that include things like airfare and books that you'll need and all kinds of different, transport, all kinds of different costs laid out there. And then for students on financial aid, we recommend if you receive financial aid during the academic year to check in with the financial aid officer because you may remain eligible for financial aid when you attend a Columbia-led summer program, but it's important to check in with an officer to make sure you're clear on if that's the case and what you need to know about that. And then, of course, there are some outside scholarships as well, like the Gilman and the Fund for Education Abroad. So there are always opportunities you can look for externally to Columbia to apply for scholarships. The main option for scholarships for summer study abroad would be our Global Learning Scholarship, also known as the GLS, which supports Columbia students to study abroad over the summer. So that the GLS, you'll hear us refer to, the Global Learning Scholarship, or GLS, is a need-based scholarship for Columbia students. All Columbia undergraduates are eligible to apply, so we really recommend you do if you're looking for funding. And something to note, importantly, for the GLS is you must complete the application by Friday, February 13th, or the program deadline if earlier. So if the program you're interested in has a deadline before Friday, February 13th, make sure you apply to the GLS and the program by the program deadline. And then notifications of the award will accompany admissions decisions. And of course, they won't, one won't influence the other in terms of admissions decisions. So do feel free to apply to the GLS. We really try to fund as many students as we can, depending on the student need and how much funding we receive every summer to allocate and all of that. Great. So that leads us to our actual programs. So we'll now dive into a little more program specific info, and you'll hear from some of the advisors other than me. So yeah, let's dive into the next. Perfect.
So I can just take over this slide briefly from here, just to highlight that a good number of our programs offer a wide range of core curriculum requirements to complete while abroad. So you'll see that this summer we are offering the opportunities to complete your foreign language requirement, global core requirement, as well as your art humanities and music humanities. This is a fantastic way to just gain critical and creative thinking skills by completing the Columbia Core Curriculum while abroad. It is important to note that a lot of these core curriculums, it's very similar to kind of the experiences that you would be having here on campus, but with kind of, I would say, a twist of the location in which you're studying in. So there might be more opportunities to really kind of take your learning, I would say, outside of the classroom by participating on these core requirements while abroad. You'll be able to engage directly with a variety of civilizations and the diversity of traditions, and really kind of prepare yourself to be more of tomorrow's conscientious and informed citizens. So just to highlight a few, or really all of, majority of our programs, for the foreign language requirement, if you're looking to take Italian language, French, or classical or modern Japanese, you can complete that on our Columbia Summer in Venice, Columbia Summer Accelerated Intermediate French in Paris program, and then lastly, our Kyoto Consortium Summer or KCGS program. For Global Core, there's opportunities on the Columbia Summer Global Core in Athens, the Athens Custodial Project. There's also opportunities on our Columbia Summer in Paris program. We're offering 3 different Global Core opportunities this year on the Columbia Summer in Paris, and then the Columbia Summer in Venice as well also offers Global Core opportunities. Now, lastly, the biggest change up I would say in our lineup of summer 26 opportunities is the Art Humanities and Music Humanities. Many of you may be familiar with the Columbia Summer Core in Paris and Berlin program. This summer, the Core in Berlin program is going to be on hiatus for the summer 26 semester. So please just be aware of that. But in lieu of that, we are adding standalone courses of Art Hum and Music Hum to our Columbia Summer in Paris English track. Now on the Columbia Summer in Paris English track, you can't take both of those courses simultaneously, but again, you can supplement your experience at least with a Global Core opportunity. So please note that the Columbia Summer Core in Paris program might be a little bit more competitive this summer, but again, there are additional opportunities to complete, specifically Art Hum and Music Hum while abroad. So yeah, so that's a bit about kind of completing core curriculum. I'll pass it then off to my colleague Karen to go over some of the language requirements while abroad.
So here's a list of our sort of language immersion programs. So Kyoto, Venice, and Paris are the locations. I will talk about the Kyoto Consortium for Japanese Studies. We have a modern program and a classical Japanese program. The modern program focuses on the second year Japanese, third year Japanese, and fourth year Japanese. So you would need at least to have studied Japanese for 1 year to do the program. It's a very intensive immersion program, so you're in class every day for Japanese, maybe in class for 3 hours. You'll have grammar and conversation sessions, and also um, you'll have a chance to have a language partner, which is a local student that volunteers with the KCGS program. Basically, you'll do 8 credits of Japanese, so it's basically 1 year of Japanese study. You're expected to do 3 hours of coursework or have three hours in class every day, as well as 4 to 5 hours of study outside of class. So it is a very intensive program that's geared towards students that really want to just focus on Japanese fluency over the summer. The deadline for this program is February 2nd, and as part of the application process, we do have a placement test that applicants will take for the classical Japanese program. So it's also located in Kyoto. This program is 6 weeks instead of the 8-week modern program. For 6 weeks, you'd be focusing on classical Japanese. You'd be learning how to translate classical Japanese text, and the course will be conducted in English. It's a great opportunity for students that are interested in classical Japanese or maybe want to consider doing research or maybe graduate study in Japanese. The course itself will meet for 4 hours each day, going over Japanese text, as well as doing some site visits to different museums and different locations, maybe related to some of the texts that they're studying. So both programs are a great opportunity to focus on your Japanese study and do a year's worth of material in the summer. So that being said, both programs will require a recommendation, and there is also additional funding that's offered to students from the KCJS program, so you can apply for a KCJS scholarship. I see a question, so the recording will be posted. And I will now pass it off to my colleague, Ali.
Yeah, so just to go over a little bit more of the Summer Accelerated Intermediate French in Paris program. This is a 6-week summer course that is really designed for non-native speakers who have taken at least 2 semesters of French or have placed out of elementary French 2. This is really the objective of this program, is to really continue your study of the French language while taking advantage of the immersive experience in Paris. So part of this immersive experience in Paris is you'll have the opportunity to live in a homestay family. I know homestays might sometimes be a little bit scary for students, but it's really an opportunity to get to connect and really kind of just enhance and immerse yourself in your French language abilities. A lot of times homestay families are usually like older adults who may have a room available, maybe like their, child has recently moved out. Sometimes also you'll also be living with working professionals. So there's really a wide variety of opportunities, and we do our best to make sure that you're matched with a homestay family that meets both any of kind of your goals, as well as maybe any accommodations that you may have. So at the conclusion of this program, you'll really be able to communicate with French native speakers. I know that might sound surprising in such a short 6-week period, but the instructor that helps facilitate and teach this program is really there to support you throughout this entire experience. So she's there to meet you kind of wherever you're at, and be able to kind of support you along the way. So you'll be able to have better mastery of the French pronunciation, colloquial French, and you really have a solid base knowledge about French and the Francophone culture as well. So the application deadline for this program also will be February 22nd. We'll be opening up this application hopefully very soon. And we just look forward to receiving your applications. So I'll pass it off then to my colleague Hannah to talk more about the Summer in Venice program.
Right. I won't go into too much detail here because we have another slide on the Columbia Summer in Venice program. The Venice program is interesting in that we offer Italian language courses as part of the overall Venice program. So students who are interested in Venice can go and take non-language courses entirely. they can go and they can take Italian language entirely, or they can do a mix. So it's completely up to you and what your interests are, whether or not you'd like to engage with the Italian language in Venice. But obviously, it's a fantastic opportunity if you're interested in language to really delve into Italian in Italy and make sure that you are exposed to the language inside and out of the classroom. So similar to the other programs, it's 2 levels that are covered in a short 6 weeks. So it's very intensive, but very rewarding. And you can either start at the complete beginner level for Italian elementary 1 and 2, or you can come in at the intermediate level and or come in at the level of just having finished elementary 2 and engage with intermediate 1 and 2 while you're abroad. So those are the options in Venice. Again, really great opportunity to engage with Italian both in and out of the classroom, and it's a great intensive way to get your language study in a short period of time. So that leads us to some of the other programs. So first, we'll talk about the GLOBES program. You'll hear us use this acronym to talk about the Summer Research Practicum in Global Behavioral Science. So that's also known as GLOBES. It's based at the University of Cambridge. It's a fantastic opportunity to go to Cambridge for 3 weeks, stay at the university, and collaborate with a program called the Junior Researcher Program. So you'll be with a group of Columbia students going on this GLOBES program, but you'll also be engaging with JRP students who are from all over Europe. And then also you'll be at the University of Cambridge. And it's a really great opportunity to get hands-on research experience if you're interested in psychology, in behavioral science, in research. This is a fantastic program. You really get experience in a research project with a group from start to finish. And the research culminates at the end in a manuscript that's submitted for publication and has been published in some really great places every year. And there's also a presentation that takes place at the JRP conference. And there's a research theme every year that the GLOBES program focuses on. And this year it's conversations about climate change. Can AI reduce skepticism and inspire action? So they always focus on really fantastic themes. This year, for the first time, they're repeating the theme. So they also focused on climate change the year before. So it'll be great to dive into climate change with this new theme that focuses on the same topic so they can really continue the work that happened last summer. So yeah, that's the GLOBES program. Great. So this leads us back to Venice. So to talk a little bit more about Venice, there is a global core course that is offered in Venice, the Mediterranean Humanities course. And then, of course, Italian language, as I mentioned, elementary and intermediate. And then there are also a number of art history courses to choose from, including art and architecture at the Biennale, which is a fantastic opportunity to, really get exposed to the Biennale in Venice and work with incredible faculty members. There's a conservation course that's all about conserving architecture in Venice. Really fascinating. And then for all of the courses, there are field trips, there are weekly cultural outings. A lot of your studying will take place across Venice as well as in the classroom, and it's based at Columbia's Casa Marraro, which is the research center for Venetian studies. So the Venice program's a really great one, especially if you're interested in going to Italy, engaging with art history, taking a global core, maybe interested in Italian language too. Yeah, so that's the Venice program. Athens. Great. So the Columbia Summer Corps in Athens is an excellent opportunity to discover Greek history, culture, society, and environment. And there's a lot of cross-disciplinary study, there are field trips, field visits, and the Summer Corps in Athens provides a really unique opportunity to access a private collection and study and curate an online exhibition of this private collection. So it's really hands-on, it's really experiential, while also being a Global Core course. And something important to note about the Athens program is that airfare and student housing will be generously funded by the Athens Global Center, so it will be partially funded, which is a great thing. So definitely make sure to note that. Perfect. So that leads us to the next program is Paris. Perfect. I'll hand it back to you, Allie.
Yeah. So now these next few slides are going to be covering kind of our variety of programs in Paris. You'll see here that in years past, we have just kind of had one page all about our Columbia Summer in Paris program. But this year we've broken up the pages into two, just so that we can go more in depth about each of the tracks and their options on these programs. So the Columbia Summer in Paris French immersion track, this program is really, I would say, suitable. There's a wide variety of academics, and it's suitable for, actually, I got the slides a little bit. So actually the top one is more covering the English track. So the French immersion track, it's really opportunity to explore both contemporary and historical issues in French and Francophone culture. And it's really a great opportunity to go outside the typical tourist experience and just gain an insider's view of the city. This year, similar to every opportunity on the French immersion track, we'll be offering two different courses. And it's important to know, again, both of these courses are taught entirely in French. So the first course will be The Women of French and Francophone Cinema, and the second course will be Modern Paris and Francophone Literature and Film. We have a lot of detailed descriptions on our page as well under kind of the academic section. But because both of these courses are taught entirely in French, we do have a minimum eligibility requirement that you must have taken at least 4 semesters of French or the equivalent to qualify. We do also want to see that you've taken at least one course at the university level to really demonstrate that you're able to kind of keep up with taking your coursework in French, and just making sure that you're not going to be feeling overwhelmed. Now, for any reason you don't meet this requirement, we'll talk more about the English track, which also really is suitable for a wide variety of different majors. For this particular program, you will be required, the French immersion track, you will be required to submit a letter of recommendation from your most recent French instructor. So as Hannah said earlier, we encourage you to start speaking with your instructors now, just so you can start preparing to submit your applications wherever you'll see a letter of recommendation. It's also important to note that we did kind of shift up the housing option on the French immersion track in particular. Again, you're going to be actually living with a homestay family. A lot of students from last summer participate, especially on the Accelerated Intermediate French program. They really enjoyed having the opportunity to live with a French family and really kind of get that experience and kind of independence of living kind of throughout the city of Paris. So we're expanding that opportunity on our French immersion track, just because we think it's a really unique opportunity to just continue to enhance your French language skills and kind of, again, get that kind of more local experience, on the ground experience that you might not get to experience otherwise in kind of other housing opportunities. So that's a bit about the French immersion track, which the application deadline is similar. It's still February 22nd is also the application deadline, which is the same for the English track. For the English track, this is a program that's really, again, suitable for a variety of different majors. You don't need to have any French language background to apply. This program, you really get to kind of pick the types of classes that you want to take. So we'll do our best to honor your students, your requests, and really try to get you into your top choices. But it is important to note that it can't we can't always guarantee things. So on this program in particular, this year, we're offering 3 different global core opportunities. As I shared earlier, we're also offering standalone Art Hum and Music Hum. So you'll be able to take migrations, displacement, and dysphoria in French and North African context. There's also another global core opportunity of French and the African dysphoria. We'll also be teaching a new class this year for Global Core, which is Endangered Languages in the Global City. This is a really unique course that's going to be exploring migration in both New York, Paris, and beyond, so very kind of comparative. And again, those standalone Art Hum and Music Hum classes. As I noted earlier, you can't take Art Hum and Music Hum simultaneously on this program, so you will have to kind of pair it with a global core opportunity on this program. Housing-wise for this program, there are residence halls, studio-style apartments that you'll be able to kind of pick from, and that will be kind of more information will open up kind of after you're accepted into the program about those different options. So this is kind of a really great program to, again, consider if you don't necessarily have a French language background, but are very interested in completing some of your core requirements while abroad. To kind of then dive into a different style of program, also in Paris is our Summer Creative Writing in Paris program. This is a really fantastic opportunity to just push yourself forward in your creative work and explore the craft of writing in Paris. This is now a 5-week program. Last summer it was only 4 weeks, so 5 weeks allows you just a greater opportunity to really see and get to explore your own creative writing within the context of Paris. So this program really relies on site visits and excursions to really guide your exploration. And it does invite you to really explore how your work is always in constant dialogue with the places that you'll be going to. And the professors really try to emphasize how creativity might be a tool that you can use in different settings that you might not have previously considered. So in this program, you're going to be taking 2 different classes. You're going to be taking what is creative writing for, prose writing in Paris, and the other class is going to be writing through art, poetry in Paris. The big note here with this particular program is that you will need a writing sample of your most recent work. And that could be, I would say, both formal, so if you've done work in the classroom setting, but it could also be informal. Maybe you haven't had the opportunity to take a creative writing course here at Columbia or at your home institution. We're really open to those informal experiences as well that you've had with prose writing and or poetry. So that's just really kind of the biggest difference in regard to this application. But as well with this program, similar to the English track, you'll be living in residence halls, studio style apartments, and you'll also, it's important to note that this application is also due February 22nd as well. So that's a bit about that program. And then last but not least, the Summer Core in Paris. This program is really unique because it combines the 2 core courses, Music Hum and Art Hum, into a single experience. So there's really a lot of opportunities for that rich exchange on the wide variety of site visits and kind of special opportunities that the faculty members will really facilitate for you to explore these multiple contexts of Western art and music. This program is particularly only open to Columbia undergraduate students. And it's, again, really just a special opportunity, as faculty members have said it in the past, to kind of take Art Hum and Music Hum that you would normally take here at Columbia, but kind of with a French twist. This program really, I would say, is kind of a much more intensive program, just because there are a lot of different, site visits and events that we're trying to build into the program. So be prepared for a wide variety of things to be going on, on Fridays, sometimes over the weekends. There's a lot of different activities that take place on this program. This program is very, I would say, like cohort style, so you'll be with a great group of other students, and I would say it's usually a good mix of students across class standing that are participating in this program. This program is particularly based at the Columbia Global Center in Paris, or Reed Hall, as you may know it as. So you'll be taking all of your classes there, and as well, the housing option is a very close walk away from Reed Hall as well. You will be living in doubles, so we'll do our best to kind of make sure you're matched with the best roommate as possible. But it is important to note that this program, as I noted earlier, it is going to be a very competitive program. It has been a very competitive program in the past, and you may have already submitted an application before. While we can encourage you to still, complete an application again, just please have a backup study abroad program in mind. So I would really highly encourage you to consider, the Columbia Summer in Venice program, the Athens program, the Columbia Summer in Paris English track. These are all great options that you can maybe still supplement and complete some of your core requirements on, while still getting that experience to study abroad. This application deadline is one of the earlier ones. It will be January 30th is when the application is going to be due. And again, we will be opening up this application very shortly. So that's a bit about that. And now I'll pass it back to my colleague Karen to talk more about the last couple of programs that we're offering.
Awesome. So the next two programs are going to be a little more non-traditional, non-credit options. So the first one, Global Columbia Collaboratory in the Gambia. This program has a focus on environmental humanities and global health in the Gambia. It's not for credit, but it is a project-based field experience that students would have. It's open to undergrads and grad students. It's a hybrid program, so there's a virtual component where you'd be attending seminars, maybe toolbox sessions where you're learning specific skills, and then also in small group settings that we call pods, so like with other students, maybe doing some reflection. So the virtual component will happen over June, July. It's asynchronous, meaning so students should attend if they can, but if not, the sessions will be recorded. And then the field work part of the experience is in August, so 3 weeks in August, where you travel to the Gambia and work with different NGOs like the Gunjur Conservationists, the Ecotourism Association, and the Gunjur Project Association. So the project will be based on these sort of local NGOs, nonprofits, and working with them to address one of their needs. During the program, you'd gain insight into how environmental and public health issues have evolved and support local communities. The different projects can be based on your interests and also the needs of the local community. It's a great opportunity to get some hands-on experience. And there's also different fun activities that are planned, like visiting different cultural centers. And I think there's like visiting the town and different local NGOs and learning about what the work that they're doing. After you return, there is a component in October where you would present on your project to the wider Columbia community, as well as we invite the different participants in the Gambia as well. So this program, like I mentioned, it's not for credit. You don't need to have any type of like prior experience or previous experience. There is a application process. There's no recommendation, but there is an interview process that we have with the students. We welcome any student that's interested to apply. You don't need to be in a specific major or minor or anything like that. And then I will go ahead and talk about the our last CU-led program. So this is the Columbia Summer in Itoshima, Ecology and Society in Rural Japan. So it's another not-for-credit program. This is the first year that we're offering this opportunity. We're excited because it is a fully funded program. So airfare, program activities, including room and board, will be funded by the Unsun Foundation. It does not include certain things like your passport, airport transfer, so like travel to the airport and that sort of thing. But it's a great opportunity for students that are looking to learn about ecology, history, anthropology, while doing certain types of activities in Japan, in rural Japan. So Itoshima is a city, but it's located close to mountains and the coastline. It's more of a rural area, I guess. students will be living in a farmhouse, a renovated farmhouse, where you have it's an open plan layout. There's a lot of it'll be communal living. There's shared kitchen, shared living areas. Basically, for this program, you would have your daily life would be structured doing 3 different types of activities. One is, I guess, physical labor, so engaging in different hands-on work like planting rice, harvesting oysters, bamboo cutting, working with different local farmers and fishermen. And then also deep reading. So there will be immersive retreat style reading and discussions of different texts in history, ecology, and anthropology. And then the other piece is also shared governance. So the students living together will co-create, will manage sort of communal tasks and co-create the program and project that they do with each other and the different faculty. So it's a very sort of immersive program where you're really working together with the group of students and the local community, and getting hands-on experience while learning about Itoshima. And the focus of this summer will be thinking like a watershed. That is the theme that the program will revolve around for this summer. Double check. So it's open to grad students as well as undergrad students. Like I said, it's a fully funded program, and is a great opportunity for students that want to have some more hands-on experience and aren't shy about, I guess, getting a little messy, getting into the field and having that experience. Okay, so that is all I will say about this program, and so I will pass it along to my colleague Morgan.
All right, great. So during the summer, you have the chance to apply to all of these amazing Columbia-led programs that my colleagues have mentioned and dived into today. But you also have the opportunity to apply for a Columbia-approved program as well. So as Hannah mentioned in the beginning, Columbia-approved programs are just any program that is not Columbia-led. So you might have heard of another program that is provided by another university or a different program provider. During the summer, you'll need to petition to participate in any of these programs and transfer your credits back to Columbia. We do have a few successful Columbia-approved program petitions each year. So I do encourage you, if you are interested in a different program, to reach out. With the ones listed here being our most popular ones, that being said, I also encourage you to look on our summer petition page as well on our website for a longer list of programs to kind of guide you into choosing one that might be the best fit for you. If you'd like to receive transfer credits, there are strict guidelines for each class that you'd like to take during the summer. These can be a bit tricky. So once again, just reach out if you have any questions about that. The first is that the course that you want to take must be approved by your major or minor department at Columbia. And then the second is that the study abroad site must be an important part of the course's content that you want to take. But yeah, feel free to reach out about any Columbia approved summer study so we can review your individual program with regards to your academic needs and interests.
So this brings us to the end. Really, you can scan the QR codes here to learn more about all of the different types of programs. When in doubt, just go to our website. On our website will also be all of the information about upcoming events and info sessions and things like that. You can also write if you're not already, you can sign up for our newsletter, which doesn't go out all the time, but when it does, sends important info about, we don't spam you, but it's important info about upcoming sessions, programs, deadlines, all of that kind of thing. And on our website or via this QR code as well, you can also go to the UGE Adviser page where you can find all of our info for all of us who've spoken today. And there's even a link for you to sign up for advising sessions. For summer study abroad, we will also be holding summer drop-in sessions, ask and go. You can come in to a Zoom, ask a few questions, and then go about your day. So keep a lookout for those coming up soon too. So really, there are a lot of different opportunities to talk with us about next steps, to learn more about these programs, and to figure out how it'll fit into your academic studies here at Columbia. So that being said, I think that's all from us. We're happy to open it up to questions. Feel free to pop them in the chat and we can help out. So thank you again for attending today's session and making the time or reviewing it later. And it was nice to see so many names here in the chat.